Okay, so we are back. I actually thought this was premiering a little later in the month, but kind of caught me by surprise. So I'm here to start My Hero Academia again. Season 4 is here. Uh, whew, I'm kind of in the middle of doing Tokyo Ghoul, but looks like I'm gonna have to add this up because I can't wait on this. This show's so good. Let's see where we head up. I gotta assume we're gonna get a little bit of recap, and then we shall see what happens here.
Young man, you
Okay.
too can become a
That
hero.
scene from episode
I've
one is way
transferred my
better than I
quirk to
give it credit
someone
for at
else,
the time.
and that's just one facet of my secret
I love the
abilities.
passing on
The name of
of
my power is one
One for
for
All.
all. One person.
The population possessing some uncanny ability
Quirks.
called a quirk.
This is epic. This is kind of like a really sweet recap.
My name is Kyle.
I love how much shared time there is between all the classmates.
That's right.
Ah, the upperclassmen that we're about to meet. All those extra characters. Ah, let me go back here. So the guy with the glasses, who's holding his glasses like this, he is an investigator who I guess is after the League of Villains, or at least that's what I gathered from like the end of last season. And the woman beside him with like the super short crop top, I pretty sure that was a contest winner, like a character design that somebody like won a contest to get that character put in. I guess she's like his assistant or like partner. There's some characters here we haven't met yet too. Always interesting. Openings always give you little tiny spoilers that you're not sure how to take. Because we've seen these three students in the middle, but we haven't seen any of the characters here on the right side, or this guy on the far left, or this tall guy in the center. Oh, Small Might. Oh, we get to see the costumes of the Power 3. That's the exchange student, right? I had that right? She's the one who doesn't really speak Japanese very well. Let's go, Class 1A. Oh, man. This fight was so good. I think I broke down a little bit when I watched this episode. Not gonna lie.
He returned to Japan until he became known as the #1 hero.
This must be some stuff from the movie, which I didn't watch.
Readers aren't looking for the same.
Here's another thing I really like about this series is that the animation and the voice acting for even like what you would consider to be minor or side characters in other series is always good. Like you couldn't, if you watch this show and you didn't know anything about it, you wouldn't be able to tell who are the main characters or not just from how much emphasis they get in the show unless you watch it for a bit.
They're villains. I got your boss.
This guy actually understands the message.
If that were the case, though, wouldn't find a successor among them.
Ooh, is the press going to break this story
Considering how
open
he phrased his message,
and figure out that it's
I
Midoriya?
believe he's already sidekick.
All Might's former sidekick is that kind of creepy
However,
detective?
It appears that All Might and Sir Night-Eye have parted ways.
Night-Eye.
They no longer seem to be in contact with one another.
I already narrowed down the class.
Those League of Villain attacks have you a pretty spooked.
Nice journalism.
Security's considerably tighter.
She's so close.
She's so close. I knew he was going to say that.
Not really. Yeah, I mean,
They want to take our picture for sure.
You're invisible.
Just fine, Hagakure.
That's enough.
Cool about my sticky balls. I'll give her an all access path. I'll let her.
Uh,
I expect you all to be on your best behavior.
I really don't like him.
Don't worry on my account, Mr. Aizawa.
That is so
He's charming.
woman.
The weapon of a really good journalist.
Will undoubtedly draw fans. I understand. If you need anything, just let me know.
He doesn't
I'm
like
sure
the
I know
press.
Very capable hands. This is clad to it for now.
Aizawa's got a good nose. I love the friendship between the students too. The show does a really good job of showing that.
Devin is Denki Kaminari. He can store electricity in his body and
Just a little
discharge it.
recap of everybody's
Number 8,
powers.
Eijiro Kirishima. His crew waiting. Number 13.
I love Dark Shadow.
He can shoot sticky tape from his elbow Yami, who can manipulate a month.
Okay, so can we talk about real quick how Sero is low-key one of the better students in the class? He's really underrated. If you like look back at everything he's done in the series, he's usually very successful compared to like some of the other what you would consider slackers in the class. I think he's kind of a stealth good, like super good hero. Because I mean, we expect like Deku and Bakugo and Tokuyami to be good, but you didn't really expect Sero to be good. You're like, oh, he has tape, but actually, it's pretty awesome.
Monster named Dark Shadow. Toru Hagakure. Her quirk's invisibility.
Hagakure is low-key one of my favorites too.
Number 7.
I like her personality.
The nitroglycerin-like sweat on seat 19 is Minoru Mineta.
Mineta.
Balls on his head will stick to anything.
Screw you, buddy. That's so useful.
Finally,
Oh, I don't need to
seat 20 is
carry an
Momo
umbrella.
Yagyorozu.
I'll just make
His
one.
quirk allows her to create.
But you're good to go. You've got
His eyes were drawn really differently there.
What's your plan when you get there?
Most likely group is
That was purposeful, right? His pupils were two different sizes. The eye on his right was huge,
the 6 who made
or
it
was
to
his
the
left
finals
eye
in the
on
sports
screen
section.
right.
I'll start my investigation by looking.
Can he take like photos with his own eyeball?
Oh,
What's his
I think
quirk?
I've got a good idea. Bakugo's a
Because you kind of forget that people besides heroes have quirks as well, which they can use in their jobs if they have a proper permit. So I wonder what kind of quirks would help a photojournalist.
his son surpass him.
Whoa, wait a minute though.
That leaves
This reporter's got it all. I mean, he's right that it's not. He's right that it's not him, but for the wrong reason. Like the whole point of Todoroki existing was to do what Endeavor couldn't do. It's as messed up as that is. Like that was his purpose, was to become better than his father.
third place win. Think it's Izuku Midoriya.
Already figured it out. Of course, it didn't take long for All for One to figure it out either.
My gut says
I kind of
What are
like
you been up to out
Small
in this
Mind.
rain?
Nothing much.
Everywhere you go.
Well, he doesn't
As
look the
number
same
one
as he did.
hero, you brought hope and smiles to so many.
That's heavy for Midoriya.
Now it's your turn.
He's not ready.
You and the rest of
getting late.
Wouldn't it be really easy for a villain to take All Might out now, like just when he's walking somewhere or like going home? He doesn't seem to have a protective detail or anything. Like, he might be not worried about his own safety, but you would think that the authorities would be worried about his safety, you know? Just because of the bad look it would be if he were to die.
Squeak is totally lying. That or they're criminals.
Because he was in his
Never
heyday
seen
when they
anyone
were young.
So cool or so powerful. Completely shocked.
This is why the guy wanted to do this story. Not just for the scoop.
Will we be okay?
What a picture? But I don't see a camera. And how'd you print it anyway?
It turns out my quirk is a pretty handy one to have when you work in journalism.
Yeah. Dude,
Oh, look at
that is sweet.
So cool.
He can take pictures
I can
anyway.
produce them everywhere.
Freelance journalist
Nice.
His quirk, whole body with so many scoops.
That's pretty. So
Everybody heard
when
all
he
my
said
last words after-
when he said I turned my camera on without thinking, he wasn't actually. You'll notice in the flashback he wasn't carrying a camera. He just took the picture, with his body.
after the Camino, I'm a teacher here.
Why is he letting Midoriya know he figured this
I
out?
visited the Pussycats agency.
Hey everyone, dinner's ready.
This can't really be made public though. Something has to happen here.
Come on, Ochako.
I just had to know
Why is he coming clean?
that there's still light in this world. As retired. I'm sorry if I caused you any stress.
That's not the big scoop his paper was looking for though.
Thank you.
Live up to that name.
Interesting.
I'm sure you will.
So he just lucked out that this guy's actually a huge All Might fan and is going to keep his mouth
It was
shut.
the end of the time he'd been allotted. Responsibility I'd inherited.
Yeah, it's super heavy,
Even so,
Midoriya.
Hey, Deku, are you on your way?
meat buns.
Seriously?
Meat buns are really good.
Before they get cold.
Good idea.
Piping hot,
Oh my god, it's
steamed meat buns.
Awesome. So cute. Well done.
So cute. Small Might. I do like his look.
Sorry about that.
She must be really important because she's highlighted in the opening and the closing. This reminds me of when they made Historia really important in Attack on Titan, which I knew the reason for that because I read the manga for that, but I'm a little worried here. I'm not sure how I feel about so much emphasis being placed on a character that's getting introduced this season. And the whole ending's her, huh? Well, that's an okay opening to the season. I mean, I wasn't expecting any action for the season premiere. It was a good recap and a good way to get the recap in, story related. And I really like the emphasis on really how heavy the burden is going to sit on Deku now. I said that last season. I was like, dang, he's got a lot to live up to, a lot to do. And I'm glad the show is showing that he realizes that and like how it's kind of affecting him a little bit. So we shall see. It showed us some of the villains again from the end of last season that haven't really done much yet with the League of Villains. So I'm interested to see how that goes. And of course, this girl that it keeps showing in both the opening and the entire closing. Like I said, I'm a little concerned when a show does this, like really puts emphasis on a character that is new in the current season. So we shall see how this goes. I'm intrigued enough.